What's up, guys? Welcome to yet another example right here at Maths with Gustin. Today let's have a look at trigonometry. What we are given here, we are given sine 16 is equal to p. The trick here is that this p, it's p over 1, even though they don't write the 1 for us. They like this a lot, guys, in trigonometry. Please always be careful of this one here. Alright, and then they said now determine the following in terms of p without using a calculator. Okay, so makes sense. Now we're gonna have a look at 5.1.1.1. This question, guys, I cut it from an old past paper. So now let's have a look here. They want us to use without the use of the calculator. So what we can do here, we can come here and say, okay, now let's draw the diagram here. And then we know that sine, and then this is going to be 16 degrees here. We know that sine is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, right? Okay, so what is opposite? Opposite here is p, hypotenuse is just going to be that one. So now we go ahead and use Pythagoras theorem to find the other side here. Okay, so the other side here will be x, which is the one right here in this side. You know how to use Pythagoras, guys. We're gonna substitute here x squared plus p is going to be p squared equal to 1 squared. Therefore we are looking for x. Because you guys are in grade 12, I'm gonna skip the other part here, squared, and then take the square root thereof. Okay, so therefore it means x here is going to be, I'm just gonna remove this, that say our x here is going to be square root of 1 minus p squared. Okay, great stuff. So with that in mind, therefore what else do we need here? We also need this diagram, guys, the one I showed you on the trigonometry lesson, where we have got 180 minus is second quadrant, 180 plus is third quadrant, then you've got minus, then you've got 360 minus x, then here you've got all. So this is what cast. Okay, so here we go. So we said here, we said 196 is on which quadrant? 90 is there, 180 is here, so therefore it's on the third quadrant. So therefore it means 5.1. For in order for us to be able to answer this one, we must say sine 196 is equal to, it can also be written like this. You're going to say here, you're going to say sine 180 plus something, plus what? Plus 16 will give us 96, right? So therefore we say in this quadrant, is sine positive or negative? Is negative in this case because it's on this quadrant here where tan is positive. Sine is only positive in the second quadrant, therefore this would be, so therefore then they say what is sine? Sine is going to be what? Negative what? P. And then, guys, please don't forget SOHCAHTOA, opposite over hypotenuse, then cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, then tan is adjacent, opposite over adjacent rather, SOHCAHTOA, opposite over adjacent. There you go, great stuff. So now let's go on to 5.1.2. 5.1.2 we have got cos 16. There you go. Cos 16 is going to say what? In this case it's just going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, so it's going to be 1 minus p squared all over 1. Okay, and that's how you deal with this question, guys. If you've got anything, please let me know on the comment section below. So now I skipped the other questions because they were just simple and straightforward. I will do them on another example, different example from this one completely. Now it says here that given this, I picked this one because beautiful question, very interesting question, typical of an exam question that they might bring for you. So please pay attention and watch this video until the end. If you're still watching, please make sure that you give us a like at least, so that we can have more views and help us to make more content that other learners can benefit from. Great stuff. So now what do we've got here? Cos 2b is equals to that. Now they are saying this thing has to be between 0 and 90. So it means it's only in the first quadrant. But however, question is saying find cos B sine B and then cos B plus 45. And then they are saying here, please bear in mind, without using a calculator. So now therefore, the first thing first that you need to do here, you need to simplify this part. Okay, because it's supposed to be like this with just an angle, not without a 2. So you're going to have cos 2b is equals to 3 all over 5. They are saying this thing is between 0 and 90 degrees. Great. Close bracket. So therefore now we need to simplify this side, guys. This side, you can see that this is also an identity. So therefore this is an identity. We can change this either to 2 cos squared beta minus 1. So I think let's do that in this case, and then so that we can be able to simplify further. And also it doesn't mean that if you change it to 2 sine squared beta you are wrong. You are not wrong, guys. Any of this should work exactly the same way, right? So me, for the sake of understanding or for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use cos. So now I'm just gonna come here and say, okay, 2 cos squared beta minus 1 is equals to 3 all over 5. Then you take 1 to the other side here so that we can deal with the fraction. Okay, take 1 to the other side. Then if I take 1 to the other side, we're going to be left with take 1 to the other side, we're going to be left with 2 cos squared beta is equals to 3 over 5 minus 1. Okay, and then what else can I do here? What can you do? What I can do here, I can also divide by 2 in this case. Okay, I need to simplify further here in okay, let's see. You know, I do this normally, I do this maths without the calculator, but yeah, it also said without a calculator there, but in some of this instance you would need a calculator to deal with these fractions. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put all this into the calculator. Therefore I see that is going to give us 4 over 5. All right, great stuff. 4 over 5. Therefore we just need to take the square root both sides, so that we're going to be left with cos alone. Then I take a square root both sides, so we're going to have cos beta is equals to, then the square root of that is going to give us 2. Square root of 4 is 2, then all over square root of 5. Okay, and that's how you deal with a question like this one. So now we know, because of that, we know that, okay, so therefore in our diagram, this is what we're going to have. In our diagram, they said between 0 and 90. Yes, 0 here, 90 is here, so our diagram will be there, similarly to the first question there, right? Here what do we have? We're gonna have adjacent. Adjacent is going to be this one. Cos is adjacent over what? Over hypotenuse, which is this 5. So which means in this case what we don't have is this side here, which is opposite. So we can go ahead and use Pythagoras theorem to find the other side. Similar way, guys, we did on the previous question. Just here we're gonna have different values. Here we are looking for the opposite. Therefore square root of 5 all squared. Take the other one to the other side, is going to be what? 5 here minus 4, which is going to give us 1. So therefore y, if you take a square root on both sides here, you're going to have y is equals to plus or minus 1. So which in this case it will just be positive 1, right? So now we can answer this question. Cos b, which is the first question that we just did here, so we already did this one, guys. It's gonna be this one right here, where 5.4.1. we did this one already without even noticing, so it's giving us 5 over square root of no, 2 rather, over square root of 5. Sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, which is 1 over square root of 5, because our hypotenuse is what? It's equal to square root of 5. Great. So maybe your calculator, guys, if you're using a calculator, is going to give you something like this. So if you use this, you're gonna show the examiner that you use a calculator, so please avoid this. So if this is what your calculator is giving you, please, if this is what they're giving you, you must write it like this instead. Great. Okay, great stuff. So now let's move on to the last question here, which is 5.4.3. 5.4.3. It says here, cos, we can see that this one, it's a compound angle, guys. The only thing that we need to do here is just to expand it and therefore be able to answer this question. So this will therefore be equals to cos b cos 45. Okay, then it's going to change the sign there, guys. You can look at this on your formula sheet if you are getting confused. Sine b sine 45. Great stuff. Sine 45. And then you already know what is cos b, because you found it on the previous question. Cos b is what? 2 square root of 5, 2 over square root of 5 here, right? And then multiply by cos 45. Cos 45 will give us 1 over square root of 2. If you use your calculator, this 45 is going to give you square root of 2 over 2. So please write it like this, make it 1 over square root of, okay. And then sine b is going to give us 1 over square root of 5, multiply by sine 45 is 1 over square root of 2. Great. All right, so now if you simplify this on your calculator, this side, if you were to multiply this, 2 times 1 is going to give us that, all over square root of 5 times square root of 2 is going to give us square root of 10. I'm doing this because I'm not using the calculator, guys, but with your calculator here, calculator can really assist you to simplify further. I know they said without the use of the calculator, but somehow you can be wasting time dealing with so much fraction. You can easily simplify it. When you are here, this is the answer that is going to give you all over 10. Or if you use the calculator at the end, it will give you this answer here. Oh, excuse me. It will give you this answer here, which is a square root of 10 all over square root of all over 10. And that's how you deal with a question like this one on trigonometry. I am Gaston Mapala. Let me see you on the next upload where we'll be doing more of mathematics.